we have already seen default constructor, which does not require any parameters or arguments to be passed. We have seen parameterized constructors. So now there is another type of constructor called the copy constructor. Now what this does is basically takes an object and initializes the variables to the same what is there in the existing object that has been passed to it. So let's actually write a program to see how this works. To find the factorial of a number using copy constructor. Okay. Now let's include iostream.h hash include conio.h, or let's create a class called fact calculator, right? And let's now this will have a variable called private variable, private data member, private int var. Okay, and then you will have public member functions, and one of them will be copy. No, not copy. Remember, again the constructor name will be the same as the class name. So fact calculator, and it will take a variable called, let's say, temp. Okay, and what this will do is store this the value of temp in var. Then you have int calculate, so it will calculate the factorial. Now we already know, we have already done this. Int factorial comma I is for the loop. Fact is equal to 1. Let's start with 1. Okay, so for I is equal to 1, I less than or equal to var I plus plus. So initially I will be 1. Okay, so now what we are going to do, we are going to say fact is equal to fact into I. So initially we have initialized it to 1, and in the loop this is 1 now. This is 1, I is 1, so 1 into 1 is 1. Then I becomes 2. Fact is still 1. So 1 into 2, 2. Right? So fact becomes 2. I becomes 3 now. So 3 to just 6. I becomes 4. This is 6. 6, 4. So that's how it keeps going till it is less than or equal to var. And finally return fact. Okay, so that completes our class specification. Okay, class specification. So let's close this off. Now void main. Okay, int n. Okay, and we are going to accept the value up to which the value whose a number whose factorial we need to calculate. So enter the number, okay, seen, let's say n. So fact calculator, and what let's say fct or factorial is the name of the object, and we are passing this n to it. And then what we do is fact calculator cpy copy is equal to factorial, right? So now let me repeat this. Here fact calculator is the class name. This is the object name to which we are passing a single argument. Right? We are passing. So what will happen is the constructor of this will be called. Its constructor is this, what this will do is receive it as temp and then store it in where. Now what this will do, this statement will do is, this is the class name, this is a copy, this is a name of the object which will be created by making a copy of this factorial object. So using the specification that is there in this object, a copy of the object will be created whose name will be CPY. Now we need to display. So cout before copying n is there, and remember we have to show that we are that factorial symbol has to be shown. So factorial symbol and then equal to and a space, and then we need to call the calculate. So factorial dot calculate function is being called and end l. Now after copying, okay, n remains the same symbols being displayed. And now what I am doing is, I am not using the factorial object, but I am using the CPY object, right? So we will know whether the number that I entered n, which was sent to this constructor, also is there in the CPY, so that when it calculates, they both should return the same answer. Okay, so let's close this and run it. Okay, functions containing for or not expanded, inline and unexpected one. So this would be okay. Now let's run this. Okay, let's say 4. Okay, now we need to ask it to wait and get ch. Okay, we need to have a clear screen, SCR. Okay, now it will. Okay, now let's start one by one. 2 factorial is 2, and then 3 factorial is 6. Okay, 4 4th is a 12 to the 24. Yes. 5 24 5s are 120. Okay, so before copying and after copying. So before copying means basically that it is using the factorial object to calculate the factorial, and after copying again it is calling the calculate function of the CPY object, right? So in both cases where is same, the value in where is same, and that is because that even though I initialize the where of factorial object by passing a parameter to the constructor, but for CPY I copied from factorial object. So since they both are returning the same answer, okay, so now this is called a copy constructor. Okay, and the only difference between a parameterized constructor and a copy constructor is, in the class definition there is nothing different. The difference comes in how you initialize it. So instead of saying fast calculator CPY is equal to and passing some arguments, we give it a object from which it will make the copy. Okay, so let's save this. Source, yes, fact copy, window, close, file, quit.